All right. Good morning. Thanks for joining Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. We're going to try to bring Julie and Douglas into the studio. We're having some issues here. So we got Douglas. Good
All right,
morning,
I got
Douglas.
morning.
And let's see if we can get Julie in. And there she is. Okay. Okay. Boy.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Well, Grand Rising.
Hey.
Hold on a second. Let me got to end your call with me, Julie.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Well, happy Red Friday to everybody.
Yes, thank you. That's the T-shirt that I'm wearing.
Oh, well, can't quite see it, Douglas.
Yep,
Let's take a look.
it's Good Friday.
Red Friday. All right.
Right on. Good looking shirt. Well, I'll tell you what, I actually enjoyed myself last night. Went out to a great concert and over in Laughlin, Nevada.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna share just a couple pictures, anyways. But it was a pretty good old time. Let's see. So nothing like hanging around a couple beautiful women for the evening.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So had a great time over there though.
Awesome.
It was a pretty awesome concert, and
It was the Blues Brothers. Is that what it was?
yeah, see, there's another name for it. Um, let's see. I think we have it on here. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I like these pictures. Come on, you gonna share or not? There we go.
There we go. Big old smile on your face. Good job.
Yeah. Well, these guys were a riot, I'll tell you.
Awesome.
But anyways, okay, that's enough of that. So, anyways, so we have a lot going on right now with what Trump's got going on.
Hmm.
And hold on a second, I'm trying to exit out a couple of these. Okay. You can definitely tell it's Friday.
Right.
All right. Anyways, I'm going to skip over to Donald Trump real quick in his speech. Okay, is it going to play?
You make that bigger.
I'm going to try. So give me a minute.
Going the wrong way. Oh, TrumpRx.gov.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. People are going to save a lot of money and be healthy. So we're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare initiatives of all time. There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TrumpRx.gov. That's TrumpRx.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words as usual. They failed, and they failed badly. They tried doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try, because they never really had a shot at it. But I'm actually getting it done, and it is done, actually. This launch represents the largest reduction in prescription drug prices in history by many, many times, and it's not even close. You're going to see numbers that you're not going to believe. Americans have long been paying the highest drug prices anywhere in the world, while other countries often paid pennies on the dollar for the exact same drugs. We were essentially subsidizing the entire world and subsidizing by hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The United States is just 4% of the world's population and consumes only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% from these drugs. Think of it, 75% of the money they made came from the United States, with a smaller population than what we will call the world. The American people were effectively subsidizing the cost of drugs for the entire world, and it's not going to happen any longer. We ended it. Everybody knew it was unfair for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the most favored nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States, come all the way down by a difference of as much as 300, 400, 500, even 600.
So anyways, Julia, I just want to say this real quick. The amount of money people were paying out for that so-called Obamacare, I know a lot of people that were on it, and I'll tell you, some people were paying 12, 15, 1,800 a month.
Insane.
Yeah, insane prices, and people were saying, they couldn't even afford it. And then there was actually husbands and wives were actually getting divorced but staying together
Yep,
in order to qualify.
exactly.
You
It,
know,
it was a horrible, horrible deal that was forced upon us.
yep. And nobody should have to get divorced just to be able to survive. I mean,
No.
that's insane.
Yep,
But
crazy.
that's the kind of crap we were having in our
We've been
country.
having, like he said, for 30 years.
Yep, 30 years.
100%, even more than that in some cases. For example, you will see dramatic reductions in the cost of popular weight loss drugs known as GLP-1s. GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk will be slashing the price, as an example, of Ozempic from more than $1,000 to $199, and the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very helpful to us in getting this done, will be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca is slashing the price of a common inhaler from $458 to $51, a difference of nearly 800%. And we're also delivering historic discounts for couples struggling with infertility, as EMD Serrano will dramatically cut the cost of its most common IVF drugs. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal F, will plummet from the highest price in the developed world that we paid. The United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. We have some very talented people coming up and showing you how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers starting today at trumprx.gov. In just a moment, we will demonstrate how you can go to the website, get a coupon, and pick up your heavily discounted prescription drugs, highest level drugs, the highest level company, finest in the world, biggest in the world, most powerful drug companies in the world. And we had to go through them, and then we had to get all of these countries worldwide to lower their prices, and for us, help us lower our price. And what they did is, again, their prices went up by double, triple, and even sometimes 4 and 5 times.
Yep.
but the dozens of commonly used drugs available today are just the beginning. 16 of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have signed agreements, and the other one is coming. Believe me, they're coming.
Now, you guys got to keep in mind, Trump's tariffs has a big role in this.
Absolutely.
I mean, these pharmaceutical companies were screwing America, and
Mhm.
Trump turned around and said, "Well, guess what? You got to import your drugs over here. I'm just going to charge you 300, 400% tariffs." And
And this is really brilliant. The branding is brilliant because people are dying to get that discounted price. And so those folks that don't care for Trump, every time they go to get their discounted price, they've got to type in his name.
yeah, oh, I gotta love it.
That going forward, all new medicines they bring to the market in the United States will be available at most favored nation prices. For those that don't know, that means in the entire world, most favored, we get the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30 plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great healthcare plan, is going to bring copays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making healthcare much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs pretty even. I thought I was doing a great job. But this is really the great job. There's never been anything like it. Nobody thought it was possible to get it done. It's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Under these agreements, the top pharmaceutical companies will also be investing hundreds of billions of dollars to bring drug manufacturing back to America. It's already happening. They're building plants all over the country.
And you know what? I just got to say it. The Democrats kept saying this is not possible, for this to
Mhm.
happen. And by God, he got it done.
Yeah.
Eli Lilly is building 6 plants with billions and billions of dollars each, which means jobs, economic growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. And it's really a big factor was the tariffs. We're charging very substantial tariffs for companies that don't want to make their drugs or pharmaceuticals and automobiles and other things. If they don't want to make them in the United States, they have to pay very big penalties in the form of tariffs. And what that means is they're all coming here. Every industry is coming here. We're taking in more than $18 trillion into the United States because of tariffs. The companies, the only way they can avoid them is to build here. They avoid paying the tariff. Now they
You got to admit, that's really smart on Trump's part,
Yep.
where he has increased these tariffs to a point where people are having to bring their businesses here,
Mhm.
which creates jobs here in America,
Mhm.
you know, um, just everything in the book.
So,
And within that, we know that there's going to be more quality control on whatever products are being made. They're
100%.
bringing back steel plants that we haven't had in a long time because they've been over in China. So yeah, I think Jonathan, I think that's probably enough. We can watch Mr. President this morning. I'm
Oh,
excited
yeah.
to hear about Doug.
Doug, you're about to say something, sir.
everything is timing. Everything that's set on the world stage. You understand the difference between the Fed and Congress and who's actually supposed to be running the money, what deals were made at what time. We've been running Keynesian policy for X amount of time at 2% inflation per year by design. At some point, we come to zero. We are past that point now. Everybody knows that. That active projection date was 2018 or something by the Economist in 1998 or 99, I remember. But the point being here is by Trump hitting the pharmaceutical companies, which are by far one of the most profitable businesses in the entire world,
Yes.
and telling you you're going to give up your profits. Now, how do you do that? The strategy behind that was because of the focusing of technology such as AI, but more importantly, quantum computing.
Right.
Because right now, if you're looking at quantum, the only thing that quantum computing makes any sense whatsoever at is dreams that you'll never see and we've gotten a few algorithms. Shore's algorithm, which puts encryption at risk, works very well in a quantum computer. And we do get gain from using a quantum computer as opposed to a classic.
What do you mean by that, Doug? What does you get gain? I don't comprehend that.
Because even when I say, hey, I'm going to put this into a quantum computer, in reality, what I'm dealing with is a refrigerator that's putting two very small pieces, quanta, which is the smallest that any one thing can hold and still be 100%. And then we do these things that we know will make it spin a certain way. And then we say the spin is either a yes or a no. Okay. And so I have to build an electrical circuit that will do that spin by hitting it either with a laser or RF and making it spin. And yep, right there, that's what we were looking for. The next thing that it's really, really good at so far, drug development.
Really? The quantum computer is good at drug development.
Quantum computing there is a massive effort on that because of how quickly you can run through every possible molecule connection. Yeah. And then I get the top 5, and then we look at that as humans and through AI, and before you know it. So that was a genius stroke on the administration to pull drugs back, because it is part and parcel over whoever wins the technology race at this point is going to win everything.
Yes. Right. Agreed.
Well, yes. It's almost like AI is taking over the world.
Yes, in many ways, it's going to become. AI has been with us for quite some time. You just never knew it because it was never really that useful.
Right.
Now it's becoming more and more useful. And by useful, it can also become intrusive.
Yeah.
Well, and that was one of the things that we were talking about earlier, Jonathan, was when, this morning we got an Amber Alert here in Indiana. So one, that's great that's still up and running. Okay.
Right.
It's halfway. It's all the way across the state from me. So geographically, I'm not on the chessboard.
Okay.
But if that Amber Alert had gone off and had also triggered an AI alert through all of my state-controlled cameras and immediately uploaded every piece of information that we had. Here's what the license plate is. Here's what the color of the vehicle. Here's what the make of the vehicle and all of this. And then I'd also build into the system room for errors. Because with the Amber Alerts, because of how quick they go out from law enforcement, that point of contact, every situational point, sit rep from point of contact, about 25% of this is going to be actionable. Right. The other 75% that was my view and my view only, and it was only pertinent to me. But that's why they harp on it, because it was so important to them.
Well, so, Douglas, you got to consider also in those kind of situations like these Amber Alerts, every last second counts.
Exactly. And that's why I would say if we could get that license plate to every exit 0 camera, all right, on the interstate to that state, and then we start stepping in from there. Right. Or going to the central part of the state or whatever and stepping out and saying, look, let's close this down digitally so that we've got all of these cameras that we can bring to bear. You've got your Department of Transportation, you've got individual municipalities, you've got the infrastructure already built.
Right.
Do the next step.
Right.
And that's the thing is we get the technology now is moving at the pace that you are never going to get comfortable with what it is that you're doing, like what we did before. Learning how to work the VCR isn't going to ride you for 20 years no more.
Right.
Because the VCR is changing so quickly.
Right.
And we've got to keep up on that. And that is for like human and child trafficking, that this is essential. Because if we can start boxing people in, and we'll have much better outcomes for everybody involved.
So tell us about this Red Friday. What is this? representing here then?
Red Friday is just keep everybody in mind that's deployed, that's in harm's way right now.
Gotcha.
We have a lot of soldiers, a lot of sailors, airmen, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard. These men and women are out there somewhere doing the work.
Right.
And
Good.
just
Thank
keep
you.
them in mind. I know I've been overseas sometimes where you feel like everybody forgot the war, except for the people that are on ground in there. So just keep them in mind.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it.
Well, you got to keep in mind, people overseas, only people they got is one another.
Right.
Watch one another's back, and Red Friday is Americans showing support of our veterans and our soldiers around the world. And make sure you guys fly your American flag with pride in your yards.
Yep.
I know these Democrats right now are attacking everybody that's got American flags in their yard, but you know what? I don't bow down to anybody. And fly that flag, guys. Get it out there and let them know that we are just full of pride and we're strong. America's strong.
Yep. Well, thank you, Douglas, for quantifying the Red Friday, because I'm in Kansas City and it's Chiefs country here. And so they have sort of adopted a Red Friday because of their outfits, their costumes. I was getting ready to say their uniforms. So Red Friday means something different in the Kansas City metro area, unfortunately.
Well, I'm personally not a Patty Mahomes fan. So, Patrick Mahomes. Sorry about that. So, anyways, Douglas, what all? I know you guys got your fundraiser going now.
Yes.
How can the people out there help support your human trafficking campaign for putting a stop to the human trafficking? How can people get involved now?
Really, the biggest way is just being aware when something seems off, and this has been said over and over and over, but it's always that. No, situationally, when we grew up, it was kind of like America was almost static, that everything was pretty much the same over and over. But now, because the world is changing at a rapid pace, but you still know fundamentally when something is not right.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. One of the things, and let's start looking at the people that work at a truck stop, right? Is that like a local job, because there's no other jobs or whatever? Or is that a job that's on pretty much the front line of defense for many, many things, many things of trafficking?
Right.
So should those people get more training and possibly better wages, and, something like this?
Right.
Because I think that's all we need to look at, is that we need to, the world is moving into the Thucydides trap, or the fourth turning, or whatever you want to call it. But we are changing. The Bretton Woods Accords is no longer enforced. The currencies are going wild. You've seen Bitcoin lose 40% of its value within the space of a week, because now everybody is no longer banking on stability, which Bitcoin needs.
Yep.
Stability. I need access to electricities, and everybody else has to have electricity. Otherwise, these coins mean nothing. So,
and so the Bitcoin, I heard recently that may have been established originally to help hide the funds for trafficking.
So
have you heard this?
When every time we get a new technology, we'll always push out that, hey, this is unbreakable by law enforcement or whatnot. Right. I've seen this happen 4 or 5 times, and there may be an actual small period of time when that's not true, but we continue to say that for a long period of time.
Right.
And so what blockchain is, which is the fundamental, what is Bitcoin?
Right.
Blockchain is an actual registry of every person and every transaction that coin's ever made.
Yep.
You cannot do drug dealing with Bitcoin because it's drug dealer A gave it to drug dealer B, and the
Wow.
provenance of that chain must match.
Right.
So it was completely sold from the very beginning. We can't see it. Do all your dirt here, which
Yep.
is essentially, yeah, you just wrote your crimes out.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Now, and then if you look at circulated Bitcoins,
Yeah.
by circulated, people are at, the first Bitcoin purchase was a pizza years and years ago. Now, Bitcoin, you can buy a car, you can order food online and all of that.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying in circulated.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost guarantee that their chain history is going to have criminality in it. Some
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
pretty heavy criminality.
Well, while we're on all these subjects, for all you guys out there panicking over the gold and silver prices, I got some news that came in. They're thinking silver now is going to jump over $200 an ounce. I know it just took a big dive because it went from 100. What was the highest it was here?
120.
120, and it
I
dropped
get
back.
it.
And it's dropped back down to $77.14 right
Oh,
now.
purchase now.
So right now, and then but gold's back up to $4,966 an ounce. So here's the thing, guys. You know, don't be panicking over stuff right now. For those of you guys that's been selling out in a hurry, I think you're making a mistake. I think you're going to find out silver is just going to just really jump. It's
Going
coming.
to continue to go up because it's required in so many of these devices that you're talking about there.
Right.
Donald.
Well, not to mention, the world has gone solar pretty much. And if you take a look, well, that's what they're really pushing in Arizona, California, even Washington.
Yeah, but I don't think the world's gone solar though.
Maybe
That their agenda is to go solar,
Okay,
but I don't think we've done it.
yeah, maybe I'm saying it not quite perfect, but yeah. In other words, it's progressive. And if you look at if you don't have silver, you don't have solar. It's that simple. Just like these cars nowadays, these new cars are making requires a lot of silver in these new cars. And that tells you right now supply and demand, folks. And the second the supply really comes in the need, I mean the demand really comes in the need, the supply chain is going to drop even more for silver. And right now they're saying the silver supply has actually dropped dramatically for availability. Um, so with that being said, keep that in mind, guys. Don't panic over it right now. I mean, come on, we've waited all these years for silver prices. So even seeing it up, even $76, $77 right now, I mean, that makes a hell of a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We lost Douglas. Oh, there
Yep,
he
he's
is.
back. Douglas is back in the studio.
Yay, yay.
Almost thought Elvis had left the building.
Well, and so we've also got the President Trump also assigned a new money person, Kevin Marsh. And so that's going to be a big change as we watch the Fed drift away to be picked up more by the Treasury.
Yep.
And I'm very excited to see that.
So
Lots of shifts.
Yep. I personally foresee a lot of things changing, and they're just, as far as money as we know it, it's probably going to be obsolete. And unfortunately, that's kind of the way it's going. As far as I'm concerned, it's
I don't
basically
think it's unfortunate at all. It's been built on a freaking lie, and it's all been numbers in the air put to paper that the papers doesn't mean anything.
But the way they're doing it, it's basically it's going to be the mark of the beast as well, Julie. It's either you have it or you don't, and then it's either so that's what I see.
I completely agree with you, Julie. I do. However, the beauty of a fiat system, when everybody did believe in it, when they didn't realize that it was a lie, because every financial system is a lie. no matter what.
True.
It's how long can I keep the people in line and
Mhm.
believing in the lie, and that is how long is it beneficial to everybody. We
Right.
just happen to be at the end of this.
Right.
There was a period where it was in the 90s was like, wow, everything looks like it's getting better, right?
Right.
But
Right.
it turns out, yeah, we were just at the peak of everything, and now we're coming down.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, the big question is what is the next form going to look like? And are we
Well-
going to make some of the mistakes? You know, quantitative easing, should that be a thing or should no? That's the one thing we should guard against
Yeah.
completely.
Right. But you know, Douglas, what they're doing right now, and if they get this agenda passed and everything, which looks like it's going to go forth, you know, the scary part about the way money's going to be distributed, it's going to be a push of the button. In other words, you got your rent, you got your food to go buy or whatever else, and all of a sudden, if you're not complying in whatever matter they want, all they
Right.
got to do is flip of the switch, and you have no access. And,
Yes, yes.
and for me, that's scary times.
Right. That is the absolute point of, you know, the next thing that quantum is really looking good for is quantum banking and stuff of this nature,
Yep.
because it can give us truly random transactions, so that if me and you make a financial transaction, Jonathan can't grab it out of the air because he predictively knows that the next connection we made, it was going to be this.
Right.
So that stuff is also being looked at for the whole quantum computing side of technology.
Mhm.
But yes, everything is changing way quicker than what we've ever remembered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You've seen before events that are happening weekly now. And
Right.
a before event is the world was different before this
Mhm.
event. You know, before, if you go back in time, the nuclear explosions on Japan, those were the world was a different place before that happened.
Right.
Yep.
But now with technology, we are seeing these events happen over and over.
Mhm.
Some of us are realizing them. Some people are being like, that was very important, and now we're past it, which
Mhm.
means we don't really know, because human endeavor and human thought kind of ended on that one.
Right.
That was pretty far enough, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Some
you
of
know, but here's the other thing. You know, growing up for us, all of us, I'm sure you guys got to agree. Back if we wanted to go to the skating rink back in the old day or do whatever, you know, we go out and mow a yard or go out and do stuff. I mean, what's these kids going to do when they transition like this? How are they
Right.
going to make? How are they going to be able to go out and make some extra cash here and there, and actually get paid for the person that they're doing the work from? You
Mhm.
know, that they would basically have to be
Right,
set up.
right.
They'd basically have to be set up in this program as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And
No transactions whatsoever
yeah,
can be outside of that system.
and I 100% disagree with that.
And so, and then that's going to create a black market, a barter system. And, you know, will that be illegal or will that be encouraged? You don't
Yeah.
know, because it could be encouraged,
Mhm.
because the state could say the state only cares about these items that fall under this currency, and everything else I don't care about. And you can see that in history. If you look at one point, the Bank of England
Right.
got too mouthy with the king,
Mhm.
and the Bank of England pointed out that we control the species, so we literally control the sterling pound. But the king pointed out, I control taxation, and taxation can only be paid in tally sticks. What
Mhm.
are tally sticks? Literally go cut a branch off, put some notches in it, cut it in half. The crown keeps one half, the crown distributes the other half, being worth £5 towards your taxes.
Right.
Wow.
What do you think's being spent in the marketplace 2 days from now? Tally sticks, not your little pieces of silver.
Mm.
because your little pieces of silver can't put me in, the king can put me to death. So
Mhm.
these sticks are for me. So you never know how those kind of currencies, how these kind of fights are going to shake out.
Yeah.
There's creative people in the United States government. Hopefully, will stay in control of this.
Yeah.
But
But what's going to end up happening? Because if you look at it this way, people that do yard sales, different things, people that just want to go out and make a couple
right,
extra
right,
bucks
right,
here and there,
exactly.
is everything just going to be taxed? I mean, because it makes you
No,
because
it,
because they're going to have complete control over everything that you possibly bring into the household.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that they could set it that the digital currency, which is what they're going to want to go to, that the digital currency could only be used for taxation, then buying a house, some 4 or 5 transactions that are big, and then everything underneath either goes regional or something of that nature. I who would know?
Yeah.
It's a currency reset. None of us have ever. Never happened in any of our lifetimes, but it's unfolding right now.
from what
Once
I've seen, yeah, it is unfolding right now. From what
together,
I,
right?
yeah, from what I've seen, it is going to be both. So we comprehend that the globalists were attempting to make us all on the same deal with their social credits and all of this stuff, right? And the whole digital thing. So there's a reset going on for the globalists, but then I think there's also a reset going on for the sovereign leaders that are telling the Fed to do this and going back to the Treasury that for the sovereignty of their own people. And having said that, my comprehension of that solid program is going to be a combination of quite a few. It's going to be gold and silver backed assets, digital, and the cash is going, there will still continue to be cash. It's just going to look different.
But
So,
if you go with gold backed assets, so you're still coming in with warehouse receipts,
true.
which MF Global, that's no longer a real thing. Once John Corzine got on his BlackBerry and blew up warehouse receipts in the futures market on what was he trading, possibly cattle or something like that, something absurd. And then President Obama said, well, this time you're going to have to take a haircut, even if you got a warehouse receipt for gold, because these people over here lost everything. And that's not right. No, that's actually the way the markets are set by law. But once they broke it, they broke it. And it was because the CME, the exchange in Chicago, simply said, yeah, we can't pay everything that they lost. So if we follow the law, then the market goes away.
And that's what I'm hearing. The banks are failing because of the lack of funds that they have in their vaults right now, basically.
Right. If you look at the derivatives market, which never ends, there's so much money sunk into that. No one knows who owns anything.
Right.
Who owes what? It's absurd at this point.
I'm excited. Go ahead.
At some point, they're just going to have to say all of this was not real, and we're starting again with X amount.
Right.
It's kind of like, hey, it's a redeal on Monopoly, everybody. Who wants to be the shoe?
All right, guys, I've got to interrupt just real quick. Got to do my couple advertisements real quick. So today we're promoting Loaded Gun Coffee out of Lake Havasu, Arizona. Steve and Terry Thomas are the local owners of Loaded Gun Coffee, and they've also got a great Patriot store on there as well, where you guys can go on there, scan the QR code there, check out their product, and they got the best coffee in the world that I drink every morning. And that's all I drink. And I'm a coffee snob, guys, but I love Loaded Gun Coffee. And other than that, every purchase that you make through Loaded Gun Coffee by scanning this code, they donate a small portion over to Your News Arizona. And so Stephen Terry Thomas, we highly appreciate you. And you guys got to, and when you scan the QR code, you got to put in Your News AZJTA. Just put that in with the once you scan it, and they make a small contribution over to Your News Arizona. So again, Stephen Terry Thomas, thanks for all your support. Okay, go ahead there. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. And so, Douglas, do you guys have your donation location set up now?
Yes, we do.
Doing?
Yes, it's at Spot Fund,
Okay.
and
Able to share that with us?
yes, hold on, let me pull that, and I want to go ahead and do the share screen
Good.
here, and I want to do.
Okay.
It should be sharing.
All right.
There we go. Oh, great.
Yes.
Oh, I like your little logo, dude.
Thank you. Actually, GoDaddy had a thing that helped create it.
Cool.
If you could scroll that up just a hair, Edward. I mean,
Douglas.
Douglas.
We're having a hard time with Doug's name today. Sorry,
Yeah.
man.
There we go.
Awesome. Spot Fund. Oh, I've not heard of Spot Fund. That's cool.
Yeah, they have a rather low fee on their side.
Oh,
Great.
so is that a lower fee than GoFundMe?
Yes, I believe significantly so, but I would really rely on Bonnie for that. She does a lot of that type of research for us.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys want to support Douglas's human trafficking, what he does for putting a stop to human trafficking, jump on there and just check it out. And you guys can make contributions over to their website there.
Great.
Well, we appreciate all you're doing out there as well, Douglas.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, again, we have tried to put a stop to the human trafficking down here on our borders and everything else. And again, it's a multi-trillion-dollar operation. And, and even the people that you would never expect being involved in human trafficking, it goes right up the ladder, even to our government officials.
Oh, yeah. Definitely our government officials.
Yep. And, not to mention the amount of human trafficking that just goes right into Las Vegas for sex trafficking. It's unreal.
Right.
Yeah.
And isn't this weekend with the Super Bowl like one of the biggest trafficking weekends or something? I mean, I think every football game is, right? But
believe it or not, it's one of the biggest for that, as well as for spousal abuse.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Because
their team loses and then they beat the crap out of the spouse. I get it.
Yep. And that seems to be an ongoing issue year after year after year.
Sad.
So, it's a sad world we live in, guys. I mean, no man at all should ever put a finger on a woman.
True.
But we see it all the time.
Yep.
So Douglas, what's the next operations you guys got planned on?
Well, we're looking at looks like we're going to be doing some training, hopefully with Craig Sawyer's group here soon, and we're still waiting for funding. So we're hoping that the DOJ comes in on that, because we're going to be outlaying some money here real soon.
Right.
But that kind of training for local law enforcement, to have, guys like Craig Sawyer and the other guys that do that kind of work, that's invaluable.
Right.
Those guys are highly, highly skilled. For them to come in and give law enforcement that type of instruction is really an awesome thing.
Right.
And yet it should be the norm in every flipping department, right? You know, and in
I
some
don't
manner,
know.
at least the awareness of it, I would say.
Yeah, the JSOC guys are highly trained. So
Right.
I don't know that we want our local law enforcement that spun up all the time, but we do want them to know the best practices.
Right.
Right, for their level. Sure.
Right.
So for our viewing audience out there, the other thing that, and I keep expressing this on several different broadcasts. If you guys are out driving around, even late at night, you're going around the motels and restaurants, and you see a child unattended outside, that's usually the way these predators draw other people in, or other, or buyers should be.
So using them as bait,
Yep, they
basically,
use them
letting
as
them
bait.
know that the minors are available. That's
Yeah,
so
so
cool.
so if you guys see that ever, don't hesitate to dial 911, report it, at least get it on the record. Also, I'd go right into the motel management and talk to the motel owners as well.
Mhm.
And that way they can observe on their camera systems which room the child goes back to, if they happen to go back to before law enforcement arrives. You know, get the awareness out there. I mean,
Right.
we've all got to do our duty to help put a stop to this human trafficking.
Absolutely.
And there's so many different ways you guys can do it. And a lot of people are just constantly afraid of picking up that phone. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to be a narc or get a perfectly good family in trouble. And it's like, well, you know, first of all, a child has no business being outside a motel room at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
hanging out by themselves.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a no-brainer.
Right.
So, so do your part. I'll just get it reported. Um, so, anyways, Doug, you guys are you guys going to be expanding?
We're just trying to get off the ground, so we're going to see how that goes, and go from there. Some other ideals that I've possibly had is maybe spending another company and getting on GSA to fill some type of government requests or something like that. But I'm not real sure at
Right.
this particular moment.
Mhm.
The other thing you guys can do is set up training seminars as well to help teach people. And a lot of times those training seminars will actually bring in funds as well, because there's people that
Mhm.
attend them that maybe not able to get so much involved, but they can financially get involved as well to help. And there's all kinds of different ways you can raise funds for helping on this.
I know that President Trump's one of several of his very first executive orders were in order to support the victims of trafficking and
Yeah.
help in housing them and rehabilitating. So I'm sure there's probably some funds in there as well, right? After his first executive orders.
Oh yeah. That's a big concern for everybody. Is what do we do when we recover a victim and all of that, and
Mhm.
the amount of money that goes into them from the time of recovery. Basically, some of them will have lifelong needs.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
you're
Absolutely.
talking a staggering amount of money.
Oh, it's
Yes.
very traumatizing for them.
Yeah, and,
Absolutely.
and that's just one. That's per victim. So
Right.
yes, something will have to be done, but I don't think that anyone truly has an answer on that right now.
Hmm.
We're right now at this is how bad it is, and this is what we need to start doing to go and find and all of that. How do we get the word out? These
Hmm.
one of the first things we're going to do when we get funding is very simple, and it's go to get placards that have the National Human Trafficking Hotline number and all of that. Just get them laminated and ask hotels, hey, put it behind your desk, put it
Hmm.
in the first floor bathroom, put it into your elevators, and
Yeah.
here you go. And then, the same thing at the rest stops, truck stops, all of these things.
Right.
And that's just, going down to your local Kinko's, getting a couple hundred copies,
Mm-hmm.
driving around asking people, hey, please put this up.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a number as to how many children have been saved this year under this administration so far?
Right off the second, no, I do not.
Okay.
But I'm sure they are keeping track of that somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it is a big, it's a concern across the entirety of the United States government.
Yeah.
Not
I know.
just law enforcement, but also intelligence is concerned, because there's also a point of, what are you creating enemies within? Perhaps
Oh, yeah,
perhaps the
we've
child's
been
not
infiltrated.
right.
Mhm.
Perhaps the child's not being sexually harmed,
Mhm.
but the child is being trained to be, become a inside the wire
Yep.
threat. So this is, that sounds absurd until you understand the numbers
Mhm.
of children, and not just children, but also young adults and
Mhm.
old people. It's not just children. Countries that have lived under very, very high threat, such as like Japan, South Korea, they understand that every now and again, the North Koreans come and just snatch folks.
Yep.
Wow.
But here in America, you've never understood that threat.
Right.
But yeah, that's why it's not a good idea to be on the beach in South Korea when the sun's coming up.
Mm.
They may just come get you.
Wow. Wow. And so, help me understand, wasn't it the milk cartons showing all of the missing children that sort of that was my comprehension. That's where I first started learning about the trafficking, that these had been abducted children that were then stuck into the system.
I believe, and I may not be correct on this, but I believe something like that happened in New York, and they were showing that it's not just this area of New York, it's the entire city that's having a problem, and then it's not just the city, it's the state, and then before you know it, and that is probably where a lot of Americans do start to become awake of, wait a minute, because most people will live their entire life and never think about doing anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
now,
Doug, oh, go ahead.
but now it's something that you've got to be aware of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, Douglas, we're going to have you back on our show here again soon. Our time is just about up for today. I've got a very busy schedule ahead of me today. And we've got some news we're going to be bringing to you guys here shortly as well from a
Mhm.
undisclosed location that
Mhm.
you'll soon enough see. But either way, love to have you back on our show, Douglas. God bless you for all the work that you guys are doing out there in Indiana, and there, if you guys want to get involved again, reach out to Doug. And Doug, you guys have got a contact number that can reach out to you as well.
Yeah, it would be 812-786-5916.
Perfect.
Great.
So you guys jot that number down. Maybe you can put it in the comments at the end of this broadcast or something, and for them to reach out to you as well. And yes, we've all got to do our part, guys. Whether you're financially making a contribution towards their work or whatever, get involved. There's all kinds of ways you guys can get involved that doesn't even require money or anything else. So for
Right.
those of you that can't afford it, look up Doug, and they can tell you guys other ways you can help out in this matter.
Mhm.
It's just, again, it's up to every one of us to work together to try to put a stop to a lot of this human trafficking.
Yep.
And these children and women have got to come first, including young boys.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
I mean,
Yep. Yep.
I got to throw that in there too. This
Yep.
this happens to all all
Both
sets.
genders.
You got
There's
it.
only 2 genders.
100%. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining into Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. Hope you guys can join back in with us live on Monday morning. And other than that, you guys have a great Red Friday. God bless all you patriots out there. If you're out this weekend, be safe. Don't drink and drive.
Mhm.
Get a designated driver. Other than that, guys, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you again live on Monday. God bless.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.